Arnold Strongman Classic, the ultimate competition to find the strongest man alive. 10 competitors have earned their place, but they'll have to go over a mountain for the title. The 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic starts next. The world's strongest have congregated once again in Columbus, Ohio. Over the next 48 hours, we will push the limits of the human body at an event named for a man synonymous with strength. Welcome to the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic inside the Greater Columbus Convention Center. Alongside Dr. Bill Crawford, I'm Sam Farber. It is a pleasure and a privilege to have you with us here today. Bill, I know this is an event that you have circled on your calendar all year long. The event, the time, has finally arrived.
The 10 greatest strength athletes we could get together for the strongman are here. They've been preparing all year. They had to train to get here and to qualify. It's now or never. This weekend is it. By
the numbers, this is one of the biggest sporting events in the world. Athletes representing 80 nations will be competing here, over 20,000 in attendance. And normally there's about 250,000 people here for this event as well. But in 2020, the state of Ohio has issued a health order to protect against the spread of the coronavirus. This means the Arnold Fitness Expo has been canceled, as well as general spectators from watching the event. It'll certainly have an impact on some of the environment surrounding these athletes, but what they're able to accomplish on the competition floor should not be affected.
These are professionals. The money's the same, the title's the same, the prestige is the same. If you win, you get an automatic qualification to come back next year. So this sets up their whole season.
Let's take a look at the 10 athletes who were able to punch their ticket and make it here to Columbus, Ohio. Hafthor Bjornsson, he is the mountain that all these other athletes are trying to conquer to take this title of 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic champion.
He specifically trained for these events for the Arnold. He says he's more fit than he's been in a long time and also stronger. His weight's up a little bit also, so with his fitness and his strength right now, he's very hard to beat.
Well, his competition is about to get started, as it will for all of our 10 athletes, and it starts with event number 1, trial by stone. Competitors will be required to press 2 stones overhead and lift 2 heavier stones onto a barrel before trying to carry a replica of the Husafell Stone 50 feet without dropping it to the finish. They will get 60 seconds per stone. Competitors who are able to lift and carry all of the stones will be scored by fastest time through the course. Those who can't lift all the stones will earn points for each stone they can successfully lift according to the score chart. Let's get out to the floor for event 1 of the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic, trial by stone. And the first man we will see take on the course is Rob Kearney. His first appearance at the Arnold Strongman Classic, winner of the Arnold Strongman Australia, 28 years old from Massachusetts.
Excellent lift. Now, he's actually a minimalist in the way he trains. He's very, very proficient.
In terms of efficiency, you're right. Kearney right there, and a little struggle there at the top on the 300-pound stone.
And he can't rush. He's got to just get it over his head.
Does get credit for the 300-pound stone. So he's up to 3 points, next to the barrel on 365.
That was head judge Carl Gillingham giving him the pass on that one. Nice lift. Very good lift.
As that little bump at the end, Hafthor has almost a full foot on Rob Kearney. So, just lifting this to the chest might not be enough. He's got to get that little extra bit of effort to get it atop the barrel.
Yeah, so pressing, it's a little bit of an advantage to have shorter arms, and getting it off the ground, but actually then getting it up onto the barrel is another matter altogether. He might just take his time a little bit, catch his breath, and then look at the points. No, he's going to go back to it. That'd be a terrific. Notice he's reading the stone. We're talking about the 3 keys to success. The first is just reading the stone, getting it off the ground, getting your hands in the best spot. There he goes. He turned the stone. Little shorter arms, so he made it where a purchase was more available for him. Look at that.
Beautiful lift. Rob Kearney
That man is thinking. Love it. That's great.
Has a chance now to still have a perfect run in terms of points, and that is going to be a big separator here early in this competition. Husafell Stone, 409 pounds.
If I were Rob, I would do exactly what he's doing. He slowed down a little bit, he took his time, and he's getting all the stones. He's still under 2 minutes. That's still a really fantastic time. Hang on to it, Rob. You got it. Keep moving your feet.
Trying to maintain that grip. Final few feet and welcoming himself into the competition. Rob Kearney able to complete the course.
Wow. That is commitment. You've got to come out here ready to give that kind of effort. I really loved what he just did. Really efficient, beautiful lift. What I really loved is that 4 stone where he turned the stone. He's got shorter arms, so he made it a little more available to himself by turning the stone around. That's thinking. That's exactly what you've got to do. Now watch his hands. He's pressing his fingertips into that stone. They're sliding, slipping. He's moving his feet because moving your feet is distance. And then he totally commits to getting it over that line. Wow.
Laying out at the end, Rob Kearney able to put 10 points on the board in just over 2 minutes. The rookie shows the other competitors how it's done. Rob Kearney finishes the course and sets the early time to beat. But the mountain is looming. Hafthor Bjornsson will take the floor for event 1 next.
The 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic on CBS Sports is sponsored by Theragun. Change the way you move. GoRuck. Founded by a Green Beret, GoRuck is an American brand with Special Forces roots. And by Rogue. Don't weaken.
Welcome back to continuing coverage of the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic. We just saw rookie Rob Kearney complete the course and set the time to beat on event 1, trial by stone. But his time may not stand for long. The 2-time defending Arnold Strongman Classic champion, Hafthor Bjornsson, is about to take the floor, and he is on a mission to win his 3rd straight title.
My name is Hafthor Bjornsson. I'm from Iceland, and I compete in strongman.
Hafthor Bjornsson wins his 2nd straight Arnold Strongman Classic in one of the most dominant performances we have ever seen.
I won my first Arnold Strongman Classic back in 2018, and then last year as well. Winning it this year would mean a lot to me because there's only been 2 guys winning it 3 times or more. So it'd be great for my career in strongman to win it the 3rd year in a row. My greatest strength is having no weaknesses, I want to say. Being able to place top 3 in every single event, that's my biggest strength. I don't think anything is going to change this year. I think everything is going to go the same way. I still think that I'm going to win like last year. I still think I'm going to break some records like last year.
Give me a break! How easy is that in a new world record for the mountain?
Nothing is going to change.
Hafthor Bjornsson in his final preparations now. Here in event number 1, 7 points is the mark to beat, but the mountain is the favorite to at least end his heat as the leader. We'll see if he can make that a reality.
Making that thing look like a pebble. Super efficient lift up, position. Even though his wide shoulders are there, outside of the stone, he just shot it right up.
1 point on the board, now the 300-pound stone.
Easy. He looks like he could do this all day.
That one came off his shoulder a little bit on the descent, didn't phase him. A 300-pound stone, now 365, easily onto the barrel. 400 pounds.
One of the great stone lifters ever. Makes quick work of the 400. Now he's down to the Husafell Stone. He's under a minute. I thought he was going to go under a minute, and I think he's going to do it. He's got about 15 seconds. Quick lift up to his lap. Here he goes.
Does he have the grip on the Husafell Stone? He's making his moves, being a little careful here, make sure he doesn't drop it early, and he puts it down under a minute.
Under a minute. Fantastic.
Your two-time defending champion making a statement, going under a minute. Even within a very fast run, careful to make sure he had everything in place.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's being very careful. He hasn't had the luxury of seeing the other athletes go before him, so he's just trying to make it through the competition without making a mistake, and he did not.
409 pounds on the Husafell Stone, and really only the grip was the question on whether or not he would have it. An incredible run from the defending champ. The Mountain makes a statement and takes the early lead, but his rivals are ready for a fight. 2019 runner-up Martins Licis and perennial challenger Mateusz Kieliszkowski are waiting in the wings. They'll get their chance in Event 1 next. Welcome back to the Columbus Convention Center in Columbus, Ohio, and day 1 of the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic. We are halfway through our first event. So far, Hafthor Bjornsson sits atop the leaderboard. Let's take a look at how some of our other competitors have fared. Mateusz Kieliszkowski from Slovenia was our first competitor. He has been slowed by a hip injury and was only able to lift the first stone for 1 point on the event. Rookie Bobby Thompson got his first taste of Arnold Strongman competition. He missed on the first press, but was able to get the second. He would earn 2 points for the event. Veteran competitor Mikhail Shivlyakov injured his ankle warming up for this event, and it really limited him. He was able to get the first stone, but no others. 8-time Arnold Strongman Classic competitor Jerry Pritchett was someone we thought would finish this course. Pritchett was able to press both stones and make the carry for 7 points. Alexei Novikov was a dark horse favorite coming into the event, and he performed well, only failing 1 of the 5 stones and earning 8 points in the event. He is currently sitting in the top 3. Rob Kearney is 1 ahead of him in second, but the rookie spot is not safe as 3 of the top veterans are still waiting for their turns on the course. And obviously, Hafthor Bjornsson said a very tough time to beat, but our other athletes now have a look at it, including Mateusz Kieliszkowski, his 6th appearance here at the Arnold Strongman Classic, and he's a pretty young competitor to have already been here 6 times.
He's got a lot of terrific qualities to his abilities as a strongman. He's very athletic.
Trial by stone underway, Kieliszkowski.
I expect that, an excellent press. So at 10 seconds, he's got the first 2 stones done. This is going to be the tail of the tape right here. How well does he get this stone up? Very good. Excellent.
Faster on the first 2 stones, maybe a bit slower here, getting them to the barrel, but able to complete the 400-pound stone, and now it's the Husafell Stone.
He got that one. He was really worried about that 4th stone, but obviously, you know, I didn't think that would be a problem for him because last year he shouldered that stone 5 times. It weighs more than that. Here he comes. He's going to be under a minute. He looks like he's going to be closer to 50 seconds.
Kieliszkowski
moving his feet.
sets the new time to beat.
Wow. Unbelievable. 10 points, perfect score, and the fastest time so far. He's got to be really happy about that.
Kieliszkowski dominates trial by stone, and the key, Bill, seems to be how fast he got through those first 2 presses.
Very efficient lifts to the chest. You can tell that it's not a challenge for him getting his hands under and just almost in 1 movement.
A little bit more pace to getting these onto the barrel with the heavier stones.
Yes, and had a great walk. You can tell he's really digging his fingers into the stone, hanging on. He's trying to outwalk his grip. Excellent, great event.
A great event indeed. Kieliszkowski walks off the floor with the time to beat. Mateusz Kieliszkowski shocks the world and wrestles the event lead from the mountain, but 2 men still remain. Canada's strongest man and the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic runner-up are waiting for their chance on the course. The final 2 competitors will have their trial by stone when we return.
The 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic on CBS Sports is sponsored by Theragun. Change the way you move. GoRuck. Founded by a Green Beret, GoRuck is an American brand with Special Forces roots. And by Rogue. Don't weaken.
Welcome back to Columbus, Ohio, and continuing coverage of the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic. We are inside the Rogue Arena at the Greater Columbus Convention Center and moments away from the finale of Event 1, Trial by Stone. Thus far, only 3 men have been able to take it through all 5 of our stones here in Trial by Stone, and we expect this to be the 4th man to do it. Last year's runner-up, Martins Licis. He is ready to begin his run. 53.72, the time to beat, set by Kieliszkowski. And here he goes, 275.
Wow.
Up easily.
Jams it overhead.
300 pounds.
Notice how he's rolling the stone. That's his way of reading it overhead.
A little bit of a delay here.
A little bit of mistake, always stumbling with this.
And this could cost him, unable to get that 300-pound stone. That almost makes it impossible for him to match the time set by both Bjornsson and Kieliszkowski.
But it can still finish, and that's the key. Notice how he spins the stone. That's his way of reading it and getting it overhead. So he did get the stone over his head in control.
Next up, 365 pounds.
I expect him to do quite well with both these loading stones. He's very good at that. That's the event that he finished up World's Strongest Man last year to win.
400 pounds next.
Pushes his feet through very efficient reads. Very good reads, very efficient lift up. Got it right on the box. Now, here's the experience. He knows that if he rushes, he might not have the best time. So he knows he's not first or second. He's going to take his time. He's got about a minute to get through this.
And he's only got a minute to do the stone. So
correct.
Finishing here means he'll be in 3rd position. And a little stumble out of the gate.
Yes, he needs a better purchase on the stone. See, his fingers are sliding. But he's locking his wrists into it. He's moving his feet. He's trying to outrun that grip.
Martins Licis inches away. Can he get there?
No. No. No, he came up short. It landed just short. He can pick it up and bring it back to the original area. It seems he's talking to him.
He's asking, did he make it there? And the judge
said he's done.
So 1 point for that final lift. He will not get the full 10.
275 right up. That's his read, is to roll the stone up. Very efficient up to his chest. Great press, expected that. Second stone, a little bit of a mistake, but he was able to hang on and keep it over his head. Getting the down signal. Really the 3rd and 4th stones, I expected that. Just really great lifts. Almost there. He just fell short with that one, so that puts him, I believe, in 4th.
He's not out of the competition in any sense, but his chances of winning it just got a lot lower.
He always comes back and does surprising things, so you can't count him out.
Our final competitor is 9-time Canada's strongest man, J.F. CARON. So far, only 3 men have been able to finish the trial by stone. Our final competitor for it, J.F. CARON, 275 easily enough. Taking a moment before the 300-pound stone. This is his final press.
Did not get the down signal. Needs a little more chalk. He's taking his time. What he wants to do is methodically get through this course. He wants a finish. He feels that the finish is going to keep him up in the top half. This is a very, very difficult event because there are so many components to this. It's a good way to get going in the competition overall for the weekend. A lot of different components of strength being tested. To the chest, using some hips overhead, got the down. Okay, now expect these. He's very experienced with Atlas stones. I expect these to come up pretty well, even though these are not Atlas stones.
Not taking a whole lot of time to recover.
No,
365, he doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't. As I said, he's very experienced with these types of stones.
Now at this point, he can finish in the top 3 still. He's got 4 points so far, 6 now that he's completed the 400-pound stone, and if he can get through this course, roughly, I think it was 215, 220 we were looking at with Kearney.
Yes. Not only that, he knows that Martins did not finish.
Correct.
So with a decent time here, he could find himself in third place. He's thinking, okay, make a good lift. He's reading, his read on the stone is to lift it exactly like it's on the floor. Good pick, fishing up.
Here he goes.
He's got his wrists on the stone. He's not really digging his fingers in as much as his wrist. Good methodical walk. There he goes.
CARON.
Wow. Wow. Good read on the first stone, efficient up to his chest. Rams it overhead. Struggled a little bit with the second stone. Very experienced with stone loading. Methodically, step by step. Digging his fingers in, taking deep breaths, moving his feet. Fantastic performance.
Very impressive indeed. Again, one of only 4 to complete this entire discipline. But the winner is Mateusz Kieliszkowski. Poland's strongest man shocks the field and takes the event win from Hafthor Bjornsson. Rob Kearney impresses in his rookie appearance at the Arnold, taking 3rd. And last year's runner-up Martins Litzis is in 6th place. 1 event down and 5 to go. The 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic is underway. Mateusz Kieliszkowski sits on top of the leaderboard, but the mountain is poised to bounce back on event 2. Tune in next time for the bag over bar as the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic continues. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.